Hello dear students, this is Vishal sir from Ikra High School. Today we are going to study chapter 4 Structure of the Atom from standard 9th NCERT syllabus. Let's read it first. In chapter 3 we have learned that atoms and molecules are the fundamental building blocks of matter. The existence of different kind of matter is due to different atoms constituting them. Now the question arises, what makes the atom of one element different from the atom of another element? And are atoms really indivisible as proposed by Dalton, or are there smaller constituents inside the atom? We shall find out the answer to these questions in this chapter. We will learn about subatomic particles and the various models that have been proposed to explain how these particles are arranged within the atom. The major challenge before the scientists at the end of the 19th century was to reveal the structure of the atom as well as to explain its important properties. The elucidations of the structure of atom is based on the series of experiments. One of the first indications that atoms are not indivisible comes from studying static electricity and the condition under which electricity is conducted by different substances. So dear students, the introduction teaches us about atoms and molecules that we have studied in chapter 3. As we know, the whole universe is made up of matter, and matter is constituted of some very minute object called atoms and molecules. As Dalton's atomic theory states that these atoms and molecules are very minute and not many things was known about them in those earlier past. But as science advanced, scientists were eager to find more about atoms, also what they were composed of. According to Dalton's atomic theory, atom was indivisible, but due to the advancement in science, it came to knowledge that atoms are divisible and they are made up of subatomic particles. In this chapter, we are going to study about these subatomic particles, charged particles in matter. For understanding the nature of charged particles in matter, let us carry out the following activities. Activity 4.1. Comb dry hair. Does the comb then attract small pieces of paper? Rub a glass rod with a silk cloth and bring a rod near an inflated balloon. Observe what happens. From this activity, we can conclude that on rubbing two objects together, they become electrically charged. Where does this charge come from? This question can be answered by knowing that an atom is divisible and consists of charged particles. Many scientists contributed in revealing the presence of charged particles in an atom. It was known by 1900 that atom was indivisible particle but contained at least one subatomic particle, the electron, identified by J.J. Thomson. Even before the electron was identified, E. Goldstein in 1886 discovered the presence of new radiation in a gas discharge and called them canal rays. These rays were positively charged radiation, which ultimately led to the discovery of another subatomic particle. This subatomic particle had a charge equal in magnitude but opposite in sign to that of the electron. Its mass was approximately 2000 times as that of electron. It was given the name of proton. In general, the electron is represented as E and proton as P. The mass of proton is taken as 1 unit and its charge as +1. The mass of electron is considered to be negligible and its charge is -1. It seems that an atom was composed of proton and electron mutually balancing their charge. It also appeared that protons were in the interior of the atom, for whereas electron could easily be removed off but not proton. So dear students, here the activity states that there are some particles that travel from one matter to another. How is that possible? It is possible as matter contains some free particles that can travel from an uncharged matter to charged matter. The charged matter shows that the particle here, atom, have some subatomic particles to charge the matter. So this charged particles proves that atoms are divisible. Many scientists contributed their efforts in finding what these charged particles are. As we have read, the protons were discovered much earlier than electrons, but scientists couldn't describe them before the discovery of electrons. Electrons were discovered by J.J. Thomson, but the protons were discovered in 1886 by Goldstein, before J.J. Thomson discovered electron. But they named it cannon rays that contained positive charge, contradict to electrons which constitute negative charge. The mass of proton was 2000 times than that of electron. Further, it was concluded that atom was made up of these two subatomic particles called protons and electrons, which eventually proved that atoms are divisible. Also, atoms were electrically neutral, as protons and electrons mutually balance their charge. The structure of atom. We have learned Dalton's atomic theory in chapter 3, which suggested that atom was indivisible and indestructible. But the discovery of two fundamental particles, electron and proton, inside the atom led to the failure of this aspect of Dalton's atomic theory. It was then considered necessary to know how electron and proton are arranged within an atom. For explaining this, many scientists proposed various atomic models. J.J. Thomson was the first one to propose a model for the structure of the atom. Thomson's model of an atom. Thomson proposed the model of an atom to be similar to that of the Christmas pudding. The electrons in a sphere of positive charge were like currants, the dry fruits, in a spherical Christmas pudding. We can also think of the watermelon. The positive charge in the atom is spread all over the red edible part of the watermelon, while the electrons are studied in the positively charged sphere like the seeds in the watermelon. Thomson proposed that an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it, just like in a watermelon. The negative and positive charge are equal in magnitude, means they have the same frequency, which makes the atom neutral. So, the atom as a whole is electrically neutral. Although Thomson's model explained that atoms are electrically neutral, the result of experiment carried out by other scientists could not be explained by this model, as we will see below. Rutherford's model of an atom. Ernest Rutherford was interested in knowing how the electrons are arranged within an atom. Rutherford designed an experiment for this. In this experiment, fast-moving alpha particles were made to fall on a thin gold foil. Actually, alpha particles are positively charged particles which travel at a greater distance, and it can strike on any material and pass through it. Rutherford selected a gold foil because he wanted as thin a layer as possible, and only gold is the only element or the only metal which can be made just as thin as possible. This gold foil was about 1000 atoms thick. Alpha particles are doubly charged helium ion. Since they have a mass of 4u, the fast moving alpha particles have a considerable amount of energy. That means he chose these two things for two bases. The first thing, gold foil. It can be made as thin as possible, and alpha particles which can travel at a greater distance with the same intensity. It was expected that alpha particle would be deflected by the subatomic particles in the gold atoms. Since the alpha particles were much heavier than the proton, he did not expect to see large deflections. But the alpha particle scattering experiment gave totally unexpected result. The following observations were made. Most of the fast moving alpha particle passed straight through the gold foil. Instead of deflecting back or reflecting back, it straight away passed through the gold foil. Some of the alpha particles were deflected by the foil by a small angle. Surprisingly, one of every 12,000 particles appeared to rebound. Only one alpha particle out of 12,000 particles were returned back. Otherwise, all the alpha particles, they just passed through the gold foil. According to Thomson's atomic theory, atom was a positive sphere with negative particles embedded in it. So it was expected that the alpha particle which are positive would be reflected back or deflected back. But instead of it, it passed through it. In the words of Rutherford, this result was almost as incredible as you fire a 15-inch shell at a piece of tissue paper and it comes back and hits you. Following a similar reasoning, Rutherford concluded from the alpha particle scattering experiment that most of the space inside the atom is empty because most of the alpha particle pass through the gold foil without getting deflected. Very few particles were deflected from their path, indicating that the positive charge of the atom occupies very little space, contradict to the Thomson's atomic model, which showed that the whole atom is a positive sphere. Instead of that, Rutherford proposed that atom was totally empty, only a very small space was constituted by positive particle proton. Very small fraction of alpha particle were deflected by 180 degree, indicated that all the positive charge and mass of the gold atom were concentrated in a very small volume within the atom. From the data, he also calculated that radius of the nucleus is about 10 raised to 5 times less than that of the radius of the atom. On the basis of his experiment, Rutherford put forward the nuclear model of atom, which had the following feature. There is a positively charged center in an atom called nucleus. Nearly all the mass of atom resides in the nucleus. The electrons revolve around the nucleus in a circular path. And the size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom. But Rutherford was also not totally true. There were some drawbacks. The first drawback was the revolution of electron, which did not expect any atom to be stable. As any particle in the circular orbit would undergo acceleration, this acceleration would radiate energy. Thus, the revolving electron would lose energy and it would finally fall in the nucleus. But if Rutherford was true, or his theory was true, matter would not have been existed in the form that we see around us. Because if there was no atom, there was no matter. So dear students, in this section, we studied about Thomson's atomic model, which was proved wrong by Rutherford. According to Thomson, an atom was a big sphere of positively charged. But on experimenting, Rutherford's expectation went wrong as alpha particle didn't deflect but passed straight through the gold foil. Only 1 out of 12,000 alpha particle rebound, showing that Thomson's atomic model was a failure. Now that Rutherford put his atomic model, it also had its drawback. The foremost drawback was of proving the atom to be stable, though electrons radiate energy as they were moving particles. This theory remained unexplained by Rutherford during that time. So, a new model was proposed which overcame this theory.